And we'll go ahead and get started. So today, basically what we're covering is Adobe Sign integration in DocumentsCorePack for Microsoft Dynamics 365. So basically, we're going to talk about this. It's basically two parts. There's two parts to it. Number one being DocumentsCorePack, then the second piece being Adobe Sign. So for DocumentsCorePack, if some of y'all are already familiar with it, for those of y'all that aren't, I would highly suggest going back and taking a look at some of our other webinars that cover it. Basically here, I just want to highlight a few of the major features that we have here with DocumentsCorePack. It's basically a powerful document generation and post-processing tool, so we can actually generate documents and do things post-processing with them, like sending the document via email or saving that document to Sharepoint, etc. All this is done with a simple user interface. It's either a user-driven dialogue where you can click your options and choose from different options, like what you want to do, what kind of document you want to create, or what you want to do with it afterwards. Or you can take all that and define that into a one-click action, which basically is going to simplify and standardize that process for you. So basically being able to, anytime that user clicks a button, instead of having to pick and choose, they're able to click the button and then it's going to actually do those commands. For example, again, like, creating the document, creating a PDF, attaching that to the email, sending that email on, saving that PDF to SharePoint. Also in the background, we have workflow automation and a scheduler. So with the workflow, you can do basically everything that you can do in the one-click action or using the dialogue. That's all automated. You can do that with no user interaction. And then the scheduler, and what the scheduler is actually going to do for you there, it's going to allow you to fire these workflows during certain times. Like if you want a workflow to fire every day or once a week or something like that. Say, for example, a lot of people use that for reporting. They want to send they want to create a document with a report and send that out to an email list. You can do that with that scheduler. On the other side of it, we have the template designer, which is basically done in Microsoft Word. One of the major things, and these first two kind of go hand in hand, so I'm going to kind of combine them. So basically, as far as relationship types, we support one-to-many relationships, many-to-one relationships, and many-to-many relationships. The interesting part about that is naturally it supports the multi-level data resolution. And what I mean by that is that you can, like for example, let's say I've got a template that I've created for an account, but let's say I want to get some information from the quote and actually push that into my document. I can use these different relationship types to go from the account to the opportunity to the actual quote itself, and actually grab that data and put it into my document. Okay, so again, multi-level is supported, and all these different relationship types are supported. That being said, basically what that ends up doing is it gives us the ability to create these complex documents, right? Some other things that we add into there is you can add, like, say, for example, pictures, your own images, sub-documents. You can add in sub-templates. You can add things based on some conditional logic, so you can show and hide pieces of your document. So it gives you like the ability to create these rich documents, these really dynamic documents that you just have to have the one template for it, and it kind of creates this really complex document here. On the other side of it, we have Adobe Sign, and basically this is a well-known e-signature provider, of course. Their Dynamics 365 integration does a lot of really interesting, really cool things. Basically, it's got the e-signature support for all entities. That's the standard out-of-the-box entities, and also any custom entities as well. Again, data mappings, that's bidirectional data transfer. And basically what that is you're able to actually set it up to where, for example, it pulls data from the signed document, and basically you can map that back into fields inside of CRM, and so get that data from the signed document that's gone around and push that information back into CRM. So it goes kind of both ways. That's what we mean by that. It has support for predefined signature tags, not only the predefined signature tags, but so initials, checkboxes, whole list of stuff, a whole bunch of features. They have on their website, they have documentation for all these. There's a lot of stuff you can do in there. So really, really cool. Signed documents are pushed back to Dynamics 365. I'm going to show that later on in the demo, so won't go too much into that. Let's go into it later. Some advanced configuration options that you have would be in-person signing, where basically the document is basically signed right then and there. So if someone's there in front of you, you need them to sign a document. You don't want to create this document and have them wait to get the email and then do the e-signature thing. You can do it right there in place. You can do sequencing for this. So basically choose the order that the people are going to actually sign the documents, or there's another feature that's available that it doesn't matter, who's actually in what order they sign the document. It's just sent out to everyone, and everyone can sign it at different times. It doesn't matter what the order it goes in. So people aren't waiting for one person to sign the document. It just, you can actually see all that in there. And different signature types, on and on. So there's a lot of things. So the question then is, how do we process, how do we get Adobe Sign to work via DocumentsCorePack? How does that function? Basically, one of the things that we do is inside a DocumentsCorePack template, we can specify e-signature fields. Okay, so you can use the Adobe Sign e-signature fields and put that into your DocumentsCorePack template. And then let's see, then we can specify the parameters here in the DocumentsCorePack dialog, that we want to attach the document as an Adobe Sign email, whether or not we want to do in-person signing, who the recipients are. We can have multiple recipients, uncheck this box and we're, going to be signing by email, sending it as an email. And lastly, we trigger then the Adobe Sign process. That's basically where we kind of create this document and then kick it over to the Adobe Sign, and it takes it through that whole entire process there. So it's really straightforward. So some of the advantages to this are using both in combination. You're able to use the complex documents that make these complex documents that I was talking about earlier. It's going to simplify this process for users because, I don't know if some of y'all are familiar with the Adobe Sign integration. There's a couple things that you kind of have to set up. Most of that stuff we take care of for you. Again, you'll see that. I'll show you that in the demo. It gives you the powerful e-signing capabilities of Adobe Sign. And the other nice part is it's set up independent. So basically, DocumentsCorePack is going to recognize that you have Adobe Sign installed and configured, and it's going to immediately give those capabilities to you. So if you have Adobe Sign right now, and you install a trial of DocumentsCorePack, DocumentsCorePack is going to see that you have Adobe Sign in there. You're going to be able to start using this right away after you make some templates naturally. Okay, so today we're going to do a couple demonstrations here. For the first scenario, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to show sending the document for signing to a single signee. I forgot to put that in there. And multiple signees by email, kind of how that works, how it looks, get a step-by-step walkthrough, and kind of show you kind of what it looks like in the template with the Adobe Sign tags. The second scenario is we're going to use in-person signing to sign off a work order, okay? To kind of show you the in-person signing piece to it. I'll give you a step-by-step walkthrough on that as well. So I want to go ahead and flip over here to my demonstration system. And naturally, this wouldn't be a DocumentsCorePack webinar if we didn't use a quote here. If you're familiar with this, we like to use quotes and show quotes a lot. So the first thing I'm going to show here is one of the nice features. I didn't really cover it when I was kind of going through the slides. But the nice thing is if you already have DocumentsCorePack in there, and you want to use this e-signing, the Adobe e-sign stuff, you're able to already use the templates that you've already created. Because one of the nice things that the Adobe e-sign, the Adobe signature piece does is it will, kind of take a document and add their little signature piece for like a single signee onto basically the bottom of your created document. So here, what we're going to do is just kind of decide every step. We're just going to go with one of our standard templates. I'll go ahead and click Next. Go ahead and set this up as an Adobe Sign email. Pick a recipient here for myself. Okay. Then click Next here. And now, basically, what's happening is this is the DocumentsCorePack piece of it. We are now grabbing the template, grabbing the information from. Can you not hear me? Okay. All right. Hang on one second. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So yeah, so basically it grabs that template, it puts that information, it grabs the information from CRM and it embeds it into it puts it into the template, and then spits out a document here. So now that it's done, I can go ahead and preview this document here. Go ahead and show that. This is just basically a standard document that we've created. You can see there's no Adobe eSign stuff in there. So once I'm done with that, once I click Finish, it's going to start the Adobe Sign process here. So I'll click Finish on this, and then wait for a little bit here. It just takes it a few minutes, and I'm going to get that email. Now, where this stuff kind of winds up, I'll go into this in a little bit more detail once I do the next little piece. But just wanted to go ahead and show you while we're waiting around where this all ends up lining up. So if I go into my actual quote here, there is a Adobe Sign piece here that's called Agreements. So if I open up the agreements, I can see all the agreements that have been sent out for this one particular record here. So I just have to organize this a little bit. So this is the one here that's out for signature right now. This is the one that I created. I'm just kind of still waiting on the email to come through. So I'll go ahead and open that up. And then you can see this is a nice little portal here. That you can see there's a lot of things in here that you can definitely see. Again, go over this in just a moment. These individual pieces, but this is basically what Adobe Sign kind of creates for you, where you can see everything about the document or the agreement, what's going on, and everything like that. But I've gone ahead. I've received this email. So this is the particular email that I get back. The signing process, if you're familiar with e-signing tools, it's pretty much always pretty similar. So I go ahead and click this. And then I'll go ahead and just kind of review the document. Go ahead and sign here. As you can see here, Adobe Sign has gone ahead and added this little piece to the end of my document. So if you already have DocumentsCorePack templates and you just need a single signee, you don't have to basically recreate your documents by adding the Adobe Sign tags. Adobe Sign is automatically going to do that little piece for you there. So I'll just go ahead and sign that. And as I'm done with that, go ahead and close this and then show you here, just real quick. Just takes a second here. Let me go ahead and refresh this page. You can see here that this piece is just for the one signee. Okay. And then if I scroll on down, just one moment. So it's here, my actions completed, my signee. So basically I've signed it. Scroll on down, I look here in the Notes tab. I can see there my signed PDF has come back. Okay. It's Adobe Sign has pushed this back here. Okay. So this is my original document that I created. This is the signed PDF that I've gotten back. One other nice thing that I want to go ahead and point out now is that the regarding here is already set. Okay, set to this, set to the actual quote, set back to the quote here, so I know what I know what this is regarding. The agreement name here is already again filled out for you. This is something that DocumentsCorePack is actually doing for you. This is done the way that we do this is we're able to, with DocumentsCorePack, when we're creating templates, we're able to dynamically name our documents. So it's going to take the document name, and here in this particular case, I've got the account name followed by the actual quote number that I'm putting as the document name. So this is how we know this is what becomes the agreement name. Okay, so so let's not get into this anymore. Let's get into that. We'll get into that here in a little bit. Let me show you the next little piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this up. Let's see what it looks like with how this looks like for multiple signees here. Okay. So in this situation here, what I've got here is that what I want to do is, I've created this quote, and sometimes, there's an approval process for quotes. And let's say, for example, that I want to have my salesperson who's created this quote electronically sign that as the first signee, and then my customer sign that to say like, hey, okay, I accept this quote, and then get it back. So all we have to do again here is we'll just do the create document, decide every step for ourselves, and then use this particular template that we've created here. This is going to be with the Adobe Sign tags here. So I've got this set up for 2 signees. Excuse me. So basically here I want to click, this is an Adobe Sign email, set my first recipient, which is my salesperson, put that information in there, set my second recipient, which is going to be the primary contact. There we go, it's me both times, but you get the gist. So after I'm done with that, after I've selected the 2 and the order that they're going to be coming in, I'll select next. Okay, again, this is the document creation process. It's creating all this information for us. And again, here I preview my document. So this time around, you're going to see a little bit of something a little bit different. I've got these 2 Adobe e-signature fields, okay, that I have embedded in here. So while I go ahead and click finish, while this is going on, let me open up that template here in Microsoft Word. So I've already got it open. So here, these signature fields are things that you are actually going to have to embed into your, put into your document. Pretty easy to do. As I said before, Adobe Sign has a really good documentation on how to do these different fields here, e-sign fields. So just for example, you can see here, this is for the first signee that we're expecting a signature back here, and the second signee, and we're expecting a signature back here. Again, there's multiple things that you can do: initials, dates, text box, check boxes, all that kind of stuff. But just for quick demonstration purposes, we just use these 2. So really easy to kind of hammer in. If you're going to be using this, or that documentation, like I said, is really, really helpful. We've got a couple new blog articles out. There's a link to that, and so you're going to be able to kind of follow that. So I highly suggest it. So let me go ahead and close this out. And I've gone ahead here. I've gotten the first piece. So let me go ahead and open that up so I can sign this document. So since I am the salesperson, also the customer, I'll go ahead and sign this first, and we'll apply that to it. So I'm signing number 1. Okay, so go ahead and just sign that. Now it gets passed on to the next piece. So let me just pull in here, open up this agreement here, and we can kind of take a look at it and kind of follow along. So let's see what we got. So out for signature. One of the other nice little pieces of it, we've already kind of shown here. We've talked about the, we have our recipients list up here, the order that they're actually going to be signing in. So we have the 2 different signees here. Normally, this is stuff that if you were doing this by hand, you'd have to make this recipient list yourself. But it's one of those things that DocumentsCorePack is actually creating this for you. It's creating this agreement totally for you, so it's not something that you have to do yourself. So it's really, really helpful. Again, also the agreement name, we create that as well, set the regarding as well. Okay, and then another nice thing that I didn't really show, showed that it right now we're waiting for the process. Here's our document that we created. These posts, you can actually follow along here in this post area, which is I think a really, really nice feature that actually shows you where it is kind of in the signing process. So you can see where it's kind of hung up. If you're waiting on someone to sign, like I'm waiting on myself to sign this piece right now. So I'll go ahead and click that and sign it. But you can just kind of follow along. So it's really nice, keeps a nice record of it. Again, I'll just sign with the next or the customer here. All right, so apply that. All right, and go ahead and sign that document. Again, as we can see here, still kind of waiting on this to be kind of kicked back here. Oh, it's already done. It's already there. Oh wait, this is the wrong agreement. There, I was like, wow, that was really quick. There we go. So now I should be able to refresh here. Let's refresh this. All right. And then I can see that the document here, oh wait, it hasn't been pushed back yet. I thought it, just kind of waiting on this to go. Let's see, flip it back. There we go. So there's our signed document. It's right in there. Nice thing about this is, there's a configuration basically. Let me just duplicate this real quick so we don't lose our page. Flip back to our quote. One nice thing is there's a configuration piece inside the Adobe Sign configuration where you can actually have it to not only save it to the actual agreement, but you can actually have it save here to the notes. And once this decides to go with me, I don't think we don't have it set up for this, but for the work orders, I think we do. So I can show that once we do the work order, that it gets, you can have it be pushed back to the notes on the actual record itself. Okay, so as we're looking at this, like I said, one nice thing is that it stores it here, it pushes it back to CRM. Instead of having to open it, Adobe Sign's got a really nice thing down here. We can actually preview the document, so I can actually flip through this and preview said document. So preview the signatures, make sure the sign is something that's available to you. Really nice feature, really handy feature there. So you don't have to open the document up all the time. You just take a look at it real quick. All right, so that kind of is shows the two signee process. Now I want to show kind of like the in-person process and what that looks like. So in this situation here, what we have is we have a particular work order here, only work order in our system. This particular work order, someone is actually delivering some computer equipment, and they're setting the computer equipment up. Once they've gone and done that, basically for the person that's there, since we're there with our tablet or our phone, or we want to go ahead and get them to to sign off on this work order that this has been completed. So this is something that we use this for, and yes, it does work with mobile and with tablet or whatever your mobile device. So here again, it's just the create document. Okay, then run my work order, my template here. This is going to be attached as Adobe Sign email. We're going to set this for in-person signing. Then all I have to do is set here my recipient again. This is important because this is kind of like their verification, how we're basically verifying them. How they're actually gonna be delivered this document via email, even though they're signing in person. Again, here we click next, okay, and then on to the document creation piece where we're grabbing everything. So let's go ahead and take a look at this template. There's a few other things in here. So we've got a tag for here, the initials for the only signee, the signature here, and a date field. So here we can go ahead and click finish. And again, this fires off the Adobe Sign process. Now, if I go duplicate this, go into here, I can check while this is DocumentsCorePack is working in the background. Oops. I can check this agreement. Let me just make sure something here. Okay, yeah. I can check this agreement, make sure that it is going here. Got a few of these. Naturally, it's been tested. So this is out for signature. But the lovely part is here in the dialog, once it's done and complete the process, we get basically a link, to, like you would in your email. So right here from inside of CRM, we're just able to click the link, kind of hand this over to the customer, and then they can go ahead and do the signing process right there in front of us. So let's see, like this, apply for our first initial. Second initial, since we've already done the initials once, it takes it for for all of them, and then oops, got to click, and then apply again, and then the date, you put the date in, but just like there you go, love that. So go ahead and click the the little piece. We've signed the document here. The user is actually going to get a copy of the document via email here. So I'll go ahead and close this out. And then we can just take a look. Do I have it open here? Yeah. So take a look here at, what it returns. Same kind of process as before. I'll see here my recipients list. Just takes a minute to kind of pop in and let everything populate here. So I've got my recipients list here. It's already signed. I should know that because they signed it in front of me. Here I've got the this little flag right here tells me that it was in-person signing, so it was required an in-person signing. This is stuff naturally that you could set. You could set this manually. You can do all this manually, but with DocumentsCorePack, again, the ease of just being able to, with a couple of clicks, I'm able to set this up. Whereas with this, I'm having to click around and make sure I understand what I'm configuring here for this agreement. Again, the agreement name's already populated for you. The link back to the actual work order. And then again, follow the process, not really needed here because they signed it in front of us. And then here the pushback from Adobe Sign to CRM. So there we go. And again, I think the important thing is if I look here under the notes, I've got my signed work order that's been pushed back. Okay. So, and then the preview. Oh, this is to me. Sometimes if you click it a little bit quickly, it breaks. That breaks. It's just a little refresh here, and then you'll be able to kind of preview the signed document here. So it just takes a minute. We can go ahead and scroll on down. And there we go. We're able to preview our document, see our signatures. And again, this is something that you can do. Don't have to print the document off. Don't have to open the document. Basically from here, from the notes. So there you go. So that is the whole kind of that's the whole process. I hope that was informative to you. Just want to go ahead and take a little bit of time to talk about the roadmap, what we have that's upcoming that we're planning. First thing, I think most important thing, is being able to enable this via one-click actions. Right now, as you can see, I had to choose everything. This is not in the one-click action configuration, but will be shortly. So you'll be able to, instead of having to click everything that I did, click through it, pick the template, pick it's an Adobe e-sign piece, the recipients, you'll have to. You probably should or would want to select those yourself, but you'll be able to do all that just with a one-click action. So that'll lower the amount of clicks that your users have to do. SharePoint upload automation. I know we were kind of focused on just a couple of settings there in the DocumentsCorePack dialog, but there's another one kind of at the bottom, which is save to SharePoint. So naturally, when you're creating a signed document and you want to save it to SharePoint, you want to save the signed document to SharePoint and not the unsigned document. So one of the things that we're working on is being able, with DocumentsCorePack, basically waiting on that return from Adobe Sign, and being able to take that document and saving it to the corresponding SharePoint location. So just being able to do that, that's something. So when you click that particular option. And lastly is data mapping for backwards communication via DCP. So for example, if I had a field that was mapped basically for that one field where I put in hello world in CRM, once that document comes back, then I'm also going to get that field filled in with hello world, right? So that's a really cool feature that that we're working on, kind of pushing towards this. These are the next upcoming pieces. So that being said, I want to thank you guys all for joining. I really do appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day to join. A couple little house cleaning things. You can find us on the web at www.mscrm-addons.com. Our help center, there's the URL there, but the easiest way is to go to our website, click on support. You'll see a little support there. Click on that. It has our little options on how to reach us via support. So any technical questions or anything like that that you may have over this or any of our other products, you can ask those there. Also our blog, basically the blog is full of different tips and tricks. It's also going to have these Adobe Sign, kind of how to work with it, setting up the setup process, etc., how to get that going. You just go to our website again, hover over the support button, and then I believe the first choice is going to be the blog, and these articles should probably be right at the very top. Again, any pricing questions or anything like that, we don't answer those here on the webinar, but you can always contact in North America, US sales at mscrm-addons.com, or if you're in Europe or the rest of the world, basically, it's sales at mscrm.